Hello and welcome to Peel Senior Links Aging in Peel. I'm Pat Spadafora, one of your co-hosts for the program. Today's program is going to focus on community support services, and I'm delighted to welcome my first guest today, Jasmine Chong, who is the Community Affairs and Development Manager with Safe City Mississauga. Welcome, Jasmine.
Thanks, Pat.
Delighted that you can join us today.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Safe City Mississauga.
Safe City Mississauga, we are located right in the city center. We're located right at the City Hall, actually. And what we do is we do crime prevention. And so we look at ways, we provide programs, services, research as well in order to help all the Mississauga residents feel safe. We offer everything from Neigbourhood Watch to youth programs such as our Aspire tutoring, and we also go into a lot of high schools to do Crossroads Youth Academy, and we also offer women and seniors a personal safety course as well.
Tell me a little bit about the personal safety course, particularly for seniors.
Yes, the personal safety course is a really great one-day intensive course, and we get an Ontario martial arts instructor to come in not only to go over some of the education and awareness things that seniors should look out for, but also we actually get into some of the martial arts techniques, some very practical techniques that seniors can use in order to protect themselves. It doesn't have to be too physical or too advanced in terms of the skills. Really, we look at how to remove a grip, how to get yourself out of those situations whenever if you find yourself in that situation.
Excellent. I was going to ask you to demonstrate, but maybe that's asking too much on the spur of the moment. I'd like to know a little bit more about that, though. I understand it's a one-day program. But I hate to put you on the spot, so if you don't have this information, that's fine, but I'm wondering what kind of age range you get with older adults taking that program.
Right now, we've only offered it to women, and so for the women's course, we take everybody from 14 years and higher. And so we do find a lot of women in their middle age who come to that one-day intensive course. We've so far have less participation in terms of the elders. Maybe it's because they don't know that it's available, or maybe they feel like it's a little bit too advanced for their condition, or maybe they're worried about their health condition. But the instructor really caters that course in order to fit the participant. So if the participant doesn't feel like, I don't want to do the physical aspect of it, they don't have to.
They don't have to.
Yeah, but most of it, maybe 60% of the course itself is really talking about some of the prevention techniques that you can do before you get to that physical situation. So we do a lot of, so far most of our clients have been girls and middle-aged women, but we are looking to expand it to seniors, and we do offer the course for seniors as well.
Well, you could be right, though. Sometimes you can't access what you don't know about, so if they're not aware of it. But it seems to me that safety is just such a huge concern, not just for older adults, obviously, but that's a bit of the focus of our program. So we offer not just the personal safety course, but we also have a more proactive approach in order for seniors to feel safe at home. So we do offer the Neigbourhood Watch program. And the Neigbourhood Watch program, a lot of people may have heard of it already, but the way that Safe City Mississauga does it is we provide a personal, customized, what we call a CPTED audit. And CPTED stands for Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. And what that does, what we do as staff, we go into your neighborhood and we look at all the aspects of your neighborhood that could be could be attracted to crime. So for example, if the lighting
is an issue, we talk to city about that. If we find that there's a lot of shrubbery that it allows people to maybe access your second floor a lot easier, then we would make recommendations in order for you to just remove that shrubbery, or at least cut it so that it's a manageable level. Sometimes we also see a lot of trees that block the door, and that's a really great way for criminals to hide. And so we do that CPTED audit. We also pair up a police officer, your community liaison officer, to come in and provide you with a home security seminar and just some ways to protect your home. And we also do signage for the street as well as we also provide each home with a window decal, very similar to a security sticker that says these premises are protected by Neighbourhood Watch. And the whole approach is really just to get neighbors to know each other in order to feel a sense of community safety and really take action for themselves. And a properly implemented Neighbourhood Watch can effectively reduce crime by 26%.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, when you mentioned it, I've seen the Neighbourhood Watch signs in my community as well, but I must be thinking back to when my children were younger, because I kept thinking of them more in terms of a safe haven, a place for a child to go if they were, if they felt threatened on their way home from school or something. But you're right, it isn't limited just to children.
Yeah, it's for the
anybody.
Whole neighborhood, and we encourage a lot of neighborhoods, seniors to take part. Seniors, a lot of times they have lots of time, and they're very into helping out the community and making everyone in the street feel safe, and helping each other, helping the community know each other. So we advertise Neighbourhood Watch to many senior groups.
Now, how would someone join, Jasmine, if they wanted to become a member of Neighbourhood Watch?
All they have to do is to, first of all, call Safe City Mississauga, let us know that they're interested. Another way that we're doing it right now is to also fill out an online application form through our website, just to show that you're interested, and so one of our coordinators will see, oh, you are, which street are you at, how many streets approximately are in your block. Then we would need that participant to canvass, and what we mean by canvass is to get people to participate. So usually we look for 50% participation, and once that 50% is in, then we come in and do the SEPT head audit. Then we come in and do what we call the setup meeting, just to help neighbors understand what were some of the recommendations from the SEPT head audit, as well as to meet the community liaison officer as well.
And so in the city of Mississauga, for example, roughly how many Neighbourhood Watch communities might there be?
Any community with the sign. It used to be a red sign with eyeballs on it. Now it's more like a blue sign, and that's our Safe City sign. So any neighborhood that has that sign is a member of a Neighbourhood Watch. Last year we had over 4,000. Just last year, 4,000 neighborhoods. I'm not quite sure about the most recent numbers, but in 2012 we had around 4,000.
And how long has that program been in operation?
The program has been in operation since Safe City Mississauga has been in operation. So we were founded in 1992, and so that's ever since around 20 years ago. The only issue is that we've actually updated the signs, and we've actually changed the program a bit. So if you see any of the red signs still, that's actually an old version of the Neighbourhood Watch, and we're not quite sure if that's an active watch. So if you're unsure, contact us, and we'll have the most up-to-date information.
That's an important point, because people might just see that sign and not realize it's an older version. It takes a while to convert 4,000 signs, though, I'm sure.
And a lot of neighbors come and go. Sometimes they move. Sometimes the person who was doing the canvassing and the leader of that community, has other work things that they need to attend to. So sometimes that's the reason why it's between an active and an inactive Neighbourhood Watch. Yeah, but we also provide lots of information to the Neighbourhood Watch members once they've signed up with us, whether it's crime stats or just some things to watch out for, especially in those neighborhoods. Yeah, so that's Neighbourhood Watch.
That's pretty exciting. Yeah. I know you have an interesting event coming up, your Beautification workshop in November. Do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Definitely. So our Beautification workshop is going to be on Thursday, November 14th, 2013. It's going to be held at the Old Barber House. Admission is free, and the time is around 8:30 to 1 o'clock. And the whole purpose of that is to provide residents, business owners, anyone who's interested in community safety and crime issues to come. And it's going to be a half-day workshop where we have different types of speakers. We actually have Mr. Sean Sport, and he's actually the manager of security loss and prevention at Max Convenience Stores. And so he's going to tell residents and businesses how to keep your area safe. We also have Constable Tom McKay from Peel Regional Police. He's an expert at CEPTED and crime prevention, so he's going to be speaking at the event as well.
Excellent. Will there be some information after the event on your website that our viewers or myself would be able to follow up on?
So our website's always up to date. We will be providing pictures as well as some of the PowerPoint presentations that the speakers have talked about. Really, the beautification workshop is to help residents not only make their community safe, but learn how to participate. For example, every year we have something called Operation Clean Sweep. And so we go into parks, both in North and South Mississauga, and we clean up graffiti. We also remove any litter from the parks. And just by doing that, you're actually helping your community feel safe, because you're showing the criminals or whoever is leaving that area is being supervised. So we also do beautification murals throughout the parks. And
excellent. I'd like to see some of those.
Definitely.
Jasmine, we only have a couple of minutes left, unfortunately. Today we'll have to have you back again. But maybe in the last couple of minutes, if you could talk just a little bit about how older adults might help to protect themselves from some of the more common crimes that may be committed.
Definitely. Most of the common crimes that we find that elders face is things like break-and-enters, robberies, and also scams and frauds. So one of the ways that we can advise seniors to protect themselves is to, first of all, if you're going to the bank or going shopping, just make sure you don't carry large amounts of money with you all the time. If you have any valuables, keep them in a safety deposit box. And also just to do a buddy system whenever you're going out, just to ensure that you have someone to look after you, look out for each other. We also advise that if you have a purse, make sure you don't leave it on a counter. Sometimes you're absorbed doing something else. Make sure you leave it with you at all times. We also run into a fraud where sometimes people call and say you've won a cruise or a car. Usually those ones are frauds or scams. Usually they ask for a cash advance, and that's usually a symbol of a fraud or scam. Also, be careful of home repairs. Sometimes they come in and they say, "Oh, we're going to give you a free home security check," and in the end, they ask for a lot of cash advances. And they'll say that they'll repair this and repair that, but usually that's not the case. So if you do need a home repair, make sure that you have a contract drafted with the completion date, the amount that you've agreed on, just to keep yourself safe and make sure everyone's on the same page. Yeah.
Jasmine, I want to thank you so much for being our guest today. I think there's been a lot of great information for our viewers. I think maybe the take-home message here might be, if it sounds too good to be true, then maybe it is too good to be true. And to really just, if you have any questions, to ask someone. Okay? Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Okay. Beautification for a Safe City. Workshop to enhance community safety through beautification, Thursday, November the 14th, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Old Barber House, and free admission. Welcome back to Peel Senior Link's Aging in Peel. I'm Pat Spatafor, your co-host for the show. And today's focus, as you know, is on community support services. I'm really excited to have Gurpreet Malhotra, the Executive Director of India Rainbow Community Services of Peel, with me today. Forgive my little laugh there, but Gurpreet and I go back a long way through many different kinds of roles that we've shared. So it's nice to see you, Gurpreet, in yet another capacity.
It's wonderful to be here, Pat. It's good to see you too.
So tell our viewers about India Rainbow. What do you do?
India Rainbow is a community services organization. It was formed in 1985 with a primary focus of serving newcomers, those of South Asian descent in Peel. It's grown tremendously over the years and currently is a medium-sized organization, full charitable status. Recently got accredited for the quality of its service.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it provides services as far as job search workshops, employment supports, language instruction for newcomers to Canada, counseling supports for young people and their parents, as well as an extensive array of seniors programs. Just to name a few, there's a couple of others.
It's a much larger organization than I was aware of, actually. When I last saw you and you were talking about the number of people working at India Rainbow, I hadn't realized it was so vast.
Yeah, we are currently around 90 full-time equivalents on staff, and a number of part-time and supply staff too. And they provide, works out about 10,000 units of service, if you will, to the community every year. We're located in 5 different sites, 2 in Mississauga, 3 in Brampton.
Okay, you serve a large community too, don't you? Well over 300,000 people.
Yes, we were actually surprised ourselves as we looked at the 2011 StatsCan results to see that in Mississauga, Caledon, and Brampton, that the number is over 356,000 South Asians.
That's huge.
It is huge. That's about the size of the city of Brampton in its entirety back in 2001.
No kidding.
Or the current size of the city of London, Ontario.
Wow. So I live in Ancaster, we're only about 20,000. We would be just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
When you look at that number, though, over 350,000, I don't know if you have this at your fingertips, but roughly how many of those would be adults, say 65 and older?
We don't have that at this point. We do have information that indicates that, of course, we know that there was a significant influx of newcomers that came through who were seniors, or at least were older, over the last couple of decades. And many families brought in their parents to help with childcare and other family responsibilities, and also to reunify the family and more comfortably here in Canada.
Well, there's that family reunification clause that
and so that those seniors are aging, and the community has been in place for a long time. So there are people who have been here, most of their life, if not all their life, and they themselves are becoming seniors.
I'd like to come back to that if we have time, particularly, if you're looking at older adults, for example, with dementia.
Yes.
And that is increasing as well. Oftentimes they will revert to their language of origin, and they may not have used it really for many years. So maybe we'll have time to come back to some challenges. If not, it's food for thought for another show. But tell us then a little bit more about the services that are specifically for seniors with India Rainbow.
Well, the largest chunk of it is for adult day services.
Right.
We have 3 centres, one in Mississauga at Highway 10 in Dundas, another on Matheson, and then another large one that's at 245 Queen in Brampton. And what those centres do is they provide a daily support to a senior, to an adult who requires that kind of support, such as assistance with feeding, maybe assistance with toileting, other types of supports that encourage their cognitive abilities and enhance their socialization. And this is all done in a culturally appropriate way that appeals to and supports individuals from wherever in the South Asian diaspora that they've come from. And that includes specialized food, which is always a big hit with our client base. So that's the adult day services. Additional services include friendly visiting. We do clinics such as foot clinics or diabetes clinics. We also have caregiver support because many people who have a senior in the home that becomes impaired in some way, whether it be cognitive or Alzheimer's, whatever the issue might be, they've never been, no one's ever talked about it. That's what the value of this show is that no one actually talks about those issues. So then the adult is dealing with an older parent is finding themselves quite stuck as to what they can do, what's appropriate, what's available.
Well, and you're wanting, as you alluded to earlier, look at services and supports really that are culturally appropriate and culturally sensitive, and that goes beyond a linguistic interpretation.
We do music therapy as well as art therapy, and people find, whether it be a tabla, a drum, or music played, on a tape deck sort of thing, or a stereo, that you see them remember, recall, and enjoy what that brings them. And this is about supporting those people and and their families.
Right. Not always easy to do, that's for sure. But
No.
music has really been demonstrated to help with healing. And as you say, people may not recall, may have short-term memory problems, but they will recall music that's been important to them.
Yes, yes. And an opportunity to integrate and interact with other people who remember the same music.
That's right.
And that becomes it's wonderful to watch. If you have the opportunity, I'd love for you to come see.
I would love to come. I can't believe I haven't been there already. I probably should not be admitting that. But as you say, this beauty of this program is it raises awareness not only amongst the viewers, but clearly with the co-host as well. So for the day program, do family members access that through the Community Care Access Center?
Yep, that's the main access point.
That's the main access point.
Sometimes the referrals through hospitals. Other time referrals take place, self-referrals, and then an assessment that takes place, and then we connect to our partners.
Okay.
But we make sure that they're in the right type of program so they receive the right type of support. There's too much demand to have the wrong fit. We want to make sure that we have as much appropriate support in place as possible.
Do you have a wait list for the day programs?
Yeah, we do, and we do our very best to fit people in. We are looking to expand in different areas as the community becomes larger, and as the community understands that these sorts of services are available to them. We foresee it growing. So we're anxious to partner with other organizations to see who else can do it. India Rainbow is not interested in doing everything for everyone on their own, and we're very happy to and have been seeking out partners to connect with to be able to provide the highest quality of service to our local citizens.
Well, it's good. You mentioned some reasons for growth, but the other reason for growth really is just simply we have an aging population.
Yes.
You know, and that's going to drive demand as well.
I'm fond of saying that when we were having children, there was all sorts of support for us as to what to expect in a family as that change takes place. Non-profit, profit, all sorts of supports in place that you can draw upon. But there doesn't seem to be the same kind of information exchange around a family that is now facing perhaps someone who's older, who is going through their change and the impact that's going to have on a family. So they're sort of left in isolation, and we fear sometimes some seniors are left too long without a diagnosis, without a support in place, and that hasn't helped things.
That may be cultural as well, though. Is that not true, where there may be some hesitancy to reach out and admit that you're not quite sure how to handle a situation? Or
And we for years, we've been breaking down that stigma, that around whether it be a support to a family or whether it be support to others.
That's fantastic, because really none of us can do it alone.
Yeah.
You know, we all need that support. So I think that's a really important take-home message for our viewers. You know, if you have any questions at all and you think that your family member can benefit from a day program, for example.
Yep. We are anxious to see what we can do to connect you to our partners or help you ourselves. But either way, you take that first step, see what else you can find out.
That's right, because as you say, you can't do it all. And even if you can't do everything, you can help to refer people.
Yes.
We only have a couple of minutes left, Gurpreet, but maybe just give a little bit more information about what somebody might expect if they come to the day program. Or pick one of them, maybe. I know they're different types.
They are different types, and they are, you know, for example, for our seniors wellness, they're presented in different languages. So then, if you're Tamil speaking, that you have access. If you're Punjabi speaking, you have access. They tend to fill, so we are reviewing how we do those programs so that we can reach as many people as possible. But then you learn about proper nutrition. You learn about falls prevention. You learn about other things that assist you to health in a healthy way, live in place, and not need to draw more from the systems that are around you. And in other cases, learn what the system can do to support. So a senior coming into a day program, for example, in addition to exercise, in addition to making sure that their nutritional needs are met. I mentioned the food earlier; those are prepared by nutritionists.
That's important.
And it's customized. So if you have an issue around needing pureed or needing it at low sodium, our food providers make sure that happens. So then your loved one is, receiving a good meal and good snacks during the day. Opportunities, as I mentioned, around art therapy, music therapy, exercise, and low impact but supportive work. But we're also looking at interesting new things that can be done, perhaps with electronic or other types of supports that can enhance their time with us in the day. But people who are interested are invited to contact us and learn more.
Sounds great. It sounds like you're providing not just culturally sensitive programs, but they're people-sensitive programs as well, which is really what I think needs to happen in this area.
Yeah, I mean, these are our loved ones, and I'm very conscious of the fact that we're all temporarily able-bodied at best, so that at some point in our lives we will need some sorts of supports, and India Rainbow is honored to be there to be able to provide some of that help.
Thank you, Gurpreet, for being on the program today.
Thank you, Pat.
I want to thank you, our viewers, for joining us. We've had some interesting conversations today, and I hope that you're coming away with, knowing a little bit more, at least, about India Rainbow and Safe City Mississauga. So until next time, thank you for coming. It's great having you here.
Great being here. Thank you.
India Rainbow Community Services Appeal. The location is 3038 Hurontario Street, Suite 206 in Mississauga. The phone number is 905-275-2369. And you can reach them by email at info@indiarainbow.org.